Vampire, vampire, vampire!
A call that sends chills down your spine because it means your worst nightmare has become a reality. An unseen enemy strikes at you from beyond the horizon and the clock is ticking. You've got mere seconds to respond, to make that crucial decision. It could be the difference between survival and disaster. This is no time for hesitation. You have to act. Get ready, because your mission and your crew's life hang in the balance. Welcome to the Missile Age. Over the last 100 years, naval warfare has evolved significantly. For the vast majority of history, naval engagements were largely characterized by boarding actions and gunnery duels, with manpower, armor, and caliber of armament being critical factors. In stark contrast, today's naval strategy emphasizes speed, stealth, intelligence, and misdirection, with the aim of delivering a knockout blow, preferably undetected. The focus is on staying hidden, gathering intelligence and launching attacks that oversaturate enemy defenses. Armor is less of a consideration, with maneuver, electronic warfare and air assets playing crucial roles in both protection and power projection. Sea Power, published by Microprose, will release into early access on the 12th of November, and it's going to hit like a tomahawk. It aims to capture the essence of modern naval warfare, seeking to emulate real-world naval and air ops, all beautifully rendered in real time. This game has been on the horizon for a while now, and I am proud to bring you a glimpse of what you can expect. So enjoy the 2 minutes of carnage before we jump into our very first operation here on the channel. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment. And thanks very much to Microprose for all the fish. Ahoy and welcome to the channel. If you are new, my name is Ty, and we're about to play some Navy ships. We are playing the first operation that are publishing on the channel. Sea Power has been on the horizon for ages, and we are super happy to have a chance to bring it to you. In this mission, our primary objective is to find a cargo ship carrying technology of vital importance to the NATO war effort. We have a Soviet fleet today, which consists of the Krivak, the Kara, and the Cmdr classes. All very capable warships. I will bring a few videos highlighting the ships and what they're capable of and a little bit of their history. I think that'll be great. This one is the Krivak 1 class. It's fitted with geckos as its main missile armament. It has the Silex, which is an interesting torpedo, cruise missile drop torpedo. But I think you can do some sneaky stuff with it and attack surface ships with it as well. So we will attempt to do that. Beautiful looking warship here, very imposing. Lots of armaments, as the Soviets like to do. They just strap the decks with everything they can. Very capable anti-submarine frigate, and also capable surface combatant. Although it's not really geared for that in this age. Then we have the Kara class, which I believe is a guided missile destroyer. Yes. It's a guided missile cruiser, sorry. It has the Goblet. It has a bunch of missile systems. It has the Gecko. It also has the Silex B, which I think has a longer range. It has the RBU 6000s, which are anti-submarine mortars. RBU 1000s, the shorter range variant. Set 65 torpedoes. My tongue is tied because I am so excited to be playing this game. It has been coming for a long time. Sitting there teasing us all. I haven't been this excited for a game since, I think, GoldenEye in 1997. Showing my age. The Cmdr class also has the Set 65, which is an anti-submarine torpedo. Hopefully we won't have to use that today. It looks like we have 2 fast-moving contacts coming into our weapons range. Now, part of modern warfare, or this era of warfare, is electronic warfare. And it's very, very important that you minimize your signature if you don't want to eat cruise missiles. And so at the moment, one of our ships was searching both the air and the sea for targets. We've turned off his radar, and you can see now that those contacts that were moving into our range have disappeared off our scope. They were air targets, so I will reactivate the air search radar just to make sure they're not bombers or something similar. We have a few contacts also on our stern. Now I plan to use the anti-submarine warfare helicopter as our main form of scouting. That way, the enemy warships will surmise that there is, in fact, our fleet around, but they won't know where we are. So using the surface search radar on the helicopter, sort of deferring the aggro away from our main fleet, and we're also able to project some scouting ability out. If we can detect the enemy first, and they are within our weapons range, we have some civilian airlines flying through our airspace. We're going to designate them neutral, just so we don't open fire on them with SAMs. And now that they have been designated, we're going to switch back to emergency communications, MCOM, which minimizes all radio signals, etc. from the warship. Now these warships, I don't know if they're warships, but we have 2 contacts following us, trailing us. We're not sure what they are. So I'm having a look here at the intel board. Based on the information we have, we are surmising that they are merchants. And that's purely based off its cross-section, as well as any noise that we may be able to hear. Alrighty, all head full. I'm just going to try and line up the formation. We want to be in a line abreast as we head towards our objective. Alright, so we have another contact down here. It looks like a radar emission. That means that somebody's using a radar. So we're going to turn the radar on in our halo now. And if they don't immediately appear, then you can raise the helicopter to increase its sight range. Increase the altitude. So we'll go up to 1,000 feet. We're still within the umbrella of our anti-missile systems, so this little halo should be safe for now. Okay, so we have detected a mass of contacts coming from the west, and they are all heading in an easterly direction. The briefing states that they are trying to get a cargo ship through to a port in Norway. So let's have a look here at the information that we have available. So based on the surface search radar from our helicopter, we are making a guess that these ships that we've selected are merchants. But that can be totally incorrect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set a 5 nautical mile marker. Try and get a sense of their true bearing, where they're actually headed to. If we do this for all the ships, we'll be able to sort of surmise whether they're in formation or whether they're actually just on their own paths. If there's no deviation from all these ships, you could surmise that they are in fact in a formation. So far, just a little bit finicky here with the map. Still getting used to the UI. So 5 nautical miles. And it looks like this ship here is also on the same heading as the other one we just marked. And he's got a trailing ship very close by. Now we are looking for a cargo ship being escorted by NATO warships. So it makes sense to me that an unarmed cargo ship would be extremely close to at least one of its escorts, so they could fall under its anti-air umbrella. Okay. So far, these three ships here seem to be on the exact same heading, and time will tell if they're running at the same speed. Depending on how quickly they cross that 5 nautical mile marker, we should be able to tell. Now this one here down to the south is slightly off course to the rest of the contacts. So it could be a faster warship just roaming through a formation, or it could be an independent ship. It says that I have 14 more points of information, but I can't expand that, so we don't really know what it is, but my best guess is that it's a large commercial ship. So the one directly to our south, and the one south of our estimated formation here. I'm going to set them hostile. At the moment our weapon orders are tight, so we will not fire on them unless they fire on us. But if they are indeed the enemy ships that we are looking for, they are running straight into us. So we're going to have a look here at our weapons ranges of all the missiles. We don't have any crazy range missiles except on our missile cruiser, who will be in range shortly. Let's have a look here. The SS Sunburns, I think they are. That's got a very long... Those have got very long range. We could attack right now. Now I'm going to take a huge gamble here. But I think that this is a formation. I've played a lot of the U-boat game, and this is one of the tactics that I use to identify convoy ships. And it usually pays off pretty well. We occasionally sink a cargo ship, but that's the height of World War II. Alright, we are going to launch these missiles, I think. They seem to be all heading at the same speed. They are crossing the 5 miles that I've set at roughly the same amount of time. But this is the huge gamble here. These could be warships. I'm going to send my helicopter over to this contact here. I shouldn't have done that. I just requested them to identify themselves. We've had no answer. And that was the helicopter doing it. So he still doesn't give away our position, hopefully. I mean, NATO have got to expect that we have ships in the area, but that doesn't mean that our intentions are bad. So it's not so bad for us to ask for them to identify themselves. Oh, what? We have launched? We missed that launch, sorry guys. All 8 of those missiles. 6 have launched. There goes the 7th. Just pausing the game there because I'm going to try and attack. Oh, we're just out of range here with the cruiser. That's really bad. I would have liked to have launched everyone at the same time. That is just poor timing on my part. You really want to launch most of your missiles at the same time, especially when you're playing as the Soviets. A lot of their doctrine is based around mass missile attacks. They weren't too worried about resupply because they never planned to sort of go too far away from port. And a lot of their missiles are real fleet killers on paper. Let's see how this stream of cruise missiles will go. I'm actually not too happy that they launched just then. I should have waited until the cruiser was in range and we could have doubled the amount that we sent. But if anything, we'll get to see our first flight of missiles. We'll also get to see how effective the Americans are, if they are American ships. Probability tells us so. Now these missiles are flying really high, so they will be detected by air search radar. We're going to turn on our surface scan just to try and grab some extra info off this fleet we've just attacked. And I'm turning on air search radar as well, in case we have reply missiles inbound. Well, first missile has been intercepted. They're now dropping down to a sea skimming altitude. But we certainly have warships here. That interceptor missed. One speck on the horizon. Okay, so we are putting out much more of a signature now on our two smaller warships. So we are at risk of taking missiles in reply. If they are able to identify us. Some warships have very, very unmistakable radar signatures. Seeing blasts on the horizon. They are intercepting our missiles. None have made it through yet. Wasn't really expecting any to get through. The last two were fired a bit slower, so they're coming in singly and they're going to get shot down. There's no way they'll make it through. Unless they fall asleep on watch. We have an aircraft inbound, I think. But it may be commercial, crossing our battle zone. The large contact to the north is peeling away from this formation. They still appear to be headed in the same direction. Switching off our radars. Now that we've hit them with aggression, they're not going to be happy. So we need to minimize our signature as long as possible now. Try and close the distance so we can open up with our other missiles. We have 80 SA-3s. One of our main objectives is to keep the cruiser alive as well. So we don't want to rush headlong in with the cruiser. We need to keep our other ships nice and close so we can put her under the umbrella. Let's hit this ship here to the south. Now I could put these ships in a formation where they would operate closely with the flagship. But seeing as we only have 3 ships, I will only use them singly. A little bit easier to micromanage it, in my view. I really want to just close the distance and get some more missiles out. We need to silence at least one threat, and then if we can identify which of those contacts is the high value target, I will hit them pretty hard. We can use time compression to speed up things. In the few matches that I've played practicing beforehand, getting to know the game, time compression was not my friend, and it wasn't my friend in U-boat either. Now, our missiles are not quite in range, but these are fancy little missiles that can be replotted. So we fire it off, outside effective range, but it should make it there. This is just a test flight. If that proves to make it close, then I will follow through with that. The NATO ships are fairly close together as well, so they are probably going to waste a lot of missiles shooting down single attacks. That is also another major consideration. Once you blow your wad, the enemy may have full stocks and just be able to peck you to death. So some consideration can be taken to depleting the enemy's stocks before you launch your major attack. Speed the warship up. Yeah, this thing seems to have no problem targeting something that was outside its launch range. Don't know if that's intended, but it works. Let's do that again. Turning hard to starboard. Ready up those launch tubes and get them out. Having all different ranges on the missile is something you also have to consider. Sometimes you might want to move one of your warships closer so that it could also participate in an attack. It could also be the sacrificial lamb that takes all of the reply missiles. Now we've lost contact here. The missile is still heading to its original plotted course. That was an interceptor flying across the screen. I would love to see it drop the torpedo. And then, even though it's an anti-submarine torpedo, it still has anti-surface mode. We're turning on our radar for a moment. We lost our chopper. Got shot down. We only had one chopper, so we really needed to keep him alive. It was pretty bad on my part. I like to keep my units alive. I'd like to assume that they want to go home one day. I think we will launch an attack. Just go all in now. Really should have fired this ship's weaponry at the same time. But you never know, we may get lucky. I'm waiting for them to fire the rest. Why not full salvo, please? It could be possible the ship can only track or guide a certain amount of ordnance at a time. Could be the case. If it fires another 2 missiles straight after these ones are shot down, we know that it can only guide 2 at a time. Otherwise, it could be a bug. I don't like the chances of those getting through. This mission might come down to close range torpedo spread even. Turn off our active sonar. Turn off the S-search. I want to try and keep the signature on the flagship as small as possible. It cannot be the one that's targeted. Setting everyone to weapons free. We're getting very close now. Depending on feedback, I will edit my videos to be shorter, but for the first one, we will just play the whole mission raw from start to finish. And I will try to minimize speeding up the time, just so we can enjoy these beautiful warships. Look at them. Okay, it looks like that's the case. It's firing missiles now that the other two have been shot down. So that will be something to consider. We have 3 left. We have an interceptor on the radar. Which means we're starting to get close enough for them to really identify us. And once we're identified, it's free reign. They will throw everything at us. So I'm just going to hold fire for now. See if we can't get it to just launch all of them. Come on, guys. Might be worthwhile setting up the map tool to show the ranges of my ships, so I don't have to keep clicking the weaponry to see what ranges are. I'll start doing that going forward. So the interceptor they fired missed. And now they've launched another now. There we go. See the plume go up on the horizon. We're trying to push our smaller warships forward ahead of the cruiser. Each of those has its sensors active. This one's looking like it might get close. Are we going to score a hit here? Oh, no. No, no, no. If there were 4, I reckon one would have got through. I hope they're using expensive missiles to shoot us down. Okay, the SAN-3s are ready to go. Let's do it. Oh, wait. I think the blue circle is surface range. So we're almost in range for a surface engagement. It's a Perry? Mr. Hazard Perry? They are capable warships for sure. Is that the first attack on us that I could see coming in just for a moment before we lost track? We have one left. We have wasted a lot of missiles on interceptors. But perhaps once we get in range of our smaller missiles, now they won't have as many interceptors left. I am not sure how much each of the NATO warship carry yet. I think she's a front backer. Yeah, she is. So she's got missile tubes on the front and back, as well as on the wings, I believe. Alright, the engagement has started for real now. So the missiles we're launching now are much, much faster than the cruise missiles we've been launching. And it looks like she can fire 4 at a time. We have... Ooh, shot it down. It's a SAM missile going over our heads. We gotta get a hit. We gotta get a hit. Big hit on the parry. And down. So we'll keep that up. We may be able to pick them off one by one. Nowhere near in range of those missiles. Intercepted mid-flight. That one's gone wild. Can we redirect it? Yes, we can. Let's bring it down on the head of this other ship. That was almost a wasted missile. Now we'll still get to have a shot at killing them. Oh, that's the cargo ship. Scored a hit on the high-value target. It's deck laden with vehicles. Surely they're going to reply. Here comes one now. Just one. Trying to intercept them. Here comes the rest of the enemy missiles. Our first vampires. These are nasty little suckers that like to sea skim and then they jump up at the last moment to throw out all of your seawiz. I think I'm gonna make it through. Bit of duck and weave, mate. Opening up with a 30 mil. There are a lot. She's taking a hard starboard turn. Oh, that was a close splash, but no hit. Now I turned off all of our sensors as well, trying to minimize our signature. Now that the missiles are gone, turn it back on. Get ready for our reply shots. Turning off the air search radar and the sea search radar might seem like a bit of a desperate measure, but if it means not taking a hit, then I'll try it. Now these missiles have a nice wiggle to them, so they throw off predictive interception. Well done, Commander. Target has been destroyed. Now at this point you would probably just turn tail and go home, because the objective is achieved. We did sink one NATO warship, and your prerogative is to keep your own warships alive. But we're going to press the attack for the sake of cinematics and see what happens. Dodging that salvo of missiles sort of has the cruiser captain feeling quite brave right now. There isn't anything that can touch him, he reckons. Let's see if that rings true. We still have 2 destroyers, it looks like. We've got a Spruance. We have one other unidentified ship. They don't seem to be very capable in terms of air defense. Let's grab a nice shot here as she turns hard to starboard to launch off those missiles. She's in range with her secondaries now. Well, I guess primary gun armament. Alright, we have missiles coming in. We're trying to intercept them. Need to detect them really far away, so you can be ready to intercept them. One miss. One's getting through. It's going to get close. 230s on the side have opened up. 76s have opened up. Oh, we've taken major hits midships. And these things are not protected, so a hit can be deadly. Well, let's push forward with our small warships here and try and finish off these Americans. Hopefully the damage control teams can take care of the Kerch. She's full stop dead. She's no longer firing. All of her modules are destroyed or on fire. Fortunately, all of the damage is above the waterline, so if we can put the fires out, perhaps she will survive. But there is massive damage. It looks like magazines, radars, the whole lot's been damaged. There's a lot of weaponry. We still got torpedo tubes. Magazines are still intact, thankfully, but there is fires on all sections of the ship. One of the weapons magazines just exploded. Great. Alright, we're going to speed time up here to close the distance. See if we can't finish off these Americans. Oh, we had a hit here while off camera. Didn't see what happened there. That's unfortunate. At least we traded. We did lose a cruiser though. And the ship we were explicitly told not to lose. We still need a lot of distance to close before we can open up on the Spruance. But taking out that guided missile destroyer is excellent. Yeah, so what do you think, guys? I think the ship models look great. I was concerned because my PC didn't quite reach the recommended specs, but I'm playing on high/ultra for most of the settings and I'm not really having an issue. About 50 frames a second, which I'm happy with. Like, it's a strategy game at the end of the day. I turned the reflection right up, so if I turned that down, it would probably alleviate that FPS issue, but our Kerch is in trouble. Fire in all sections still. Damage control teams unable to get the blaze under control. And there we have a secondary explosion, as if to seal her fate. We are starting to take slight hull damage now. Flooding damage. That missile was thrown off course by the countermeasures. Let's see if we can keep that attack up. Now this ship will only be able to fire 2 missiles at a time while the launchers reload. And this bad boy has nothing that can get within range. Unless we try that with the cruise missile torpedoes again. That slight wiggle there, as she tracks towards the target, is enough to throw off a lot of defensive fire, believe it or not. For those of you new to the channel, I play a lot of War Thunder as well, and there are a few modern ships in War Thunder's naval that are equipped with those anti-ship missiles. Those particular ones, exactly. Massive hit there below the bridge on the Spruance. And we have the second missile was intercepted, but we have more where they came from. Now that she's taken hits, her effectiveness will decrease, just as the Kerch is decreasing. It's completely destroyed now, the hull, and she's taken moderate flooding damage. I'm going to launch these things. We're not within range of the ship, but we're going to try and hit anyway. They can be reprogrammed with a target. So we fire inside the range there, and then redesignate the target. And they have more than enough energy to cross those extra few nautical miles. Yeah, the game looks great. Very impressed. I have heard that it's a little bit, it doesn't perform so well in the stormy weather, but I haven't yet seen that. The only times I've seen real frame rate drops have been when I hit 1,000 times time compression. Another 2-pack of missiles coming in to finish off the Spruance. We have some serious questions to answer when we get back. Where is the Kerch, for example? But I think the Admiralty will be pretty happy with the fact that we took out a whole task force and the objective. I'm sure they can build another Kerch. Surely. They're easy to build. Phalanx opening up. Striking just amidships. Those 2 guys there standing on the rail, continuing their conversation as if nothing happened. We have one more of those. Looks like we're going to get a hit with it. Oh, right on the waterline. Did that do damage? That missile lost track, but we redirected it back to the target. We have more inbound. Set this one to the target as well. Yeah, the Spruance is done for. Her guns are silenced. And so that, my friends, is sea power. What do you think? I see myself spending a lot of time playing. The mission editor looks to be one of the best features to come out of it. You can make a mission anywhere in the world using the available ships, and I've seen that there will be mod support. At release, I think there's support for up to 50 mods at a time, but please correct me if I'm speaking out of turn. But I look forward to creating a couple of missions focusing on small craft attacking large warships to see how effective they are. I want to see the Pegasus hydrofoil doing its thing. Get them to attack an Udaloy or something similar to that. So firing these out of range proved to be effective. I didn't think we had enough missile density to get through these NATO warships, but looks like we got lucky with a few hits. One of the ships mysteriously exploded. I don't know how that happened. If you are watching the video and you saw what happened, let me know down below. We've managed to fix the main gun. Secondary explosion. But yeah, a modern warship game that involves real-world tactics, focusing on surface combat. And Silent Waters was probably a good title, but without mods you only ever were under the sea, and I like the surface stuff and the air ops. Can't wait to use one of the carriers. But I think we're finished. We are done. After action report, we failed to keep the Kerch alive, but 2 of our warships survived, all contacts destroyed, a score of 1000%. I'm Commander Tyrael. See you in the next episode of Sea Power.